We are recording. Welcome everyone, and this is our Minecraft for Beginners session. If you want to just open the chat in Teams, that will be very useful as we're going through. And I know we have other people who'll be jumping on as we move on. But first up, I'm going to ask everyone to just tell me what's your core device you'll be using today for your hands-on. So if you can tell me what device you'll be using, that's kind of helpful for how we move forward.
iPad. Oh, do you want to do it in the chat? Sorry.
Yeah, pop it in the chat just so we have an overview of what people are doing. Okay, great. So we have quite a few laptops, which is fine, and iPad. Mac or PC makes little difference, and we now have access on Chromebooks to Minecraft, which is exciting. So you can even use it on your Pixel phone, should you want to. Okay, so that's quite helpful for how we're going to move on. I'll just give everybody another minute or two to join us because we've got people coming in as we speak. It might be a nice chance to hear everyone's voice to tell us where you're teaching while we're waiting for the few people to come. So if we start with Sarah, if you want to tell us where you are and what you teach.
Okay, I teach at Lorne Peter 12 College down on the southwestern Victoria. I mostly teach mathematics and physics, but next year I've been asked to take on some junior electives and create a new STEM subject, where I've been told that I have some Spheros, a 3D printer, some Lego Mindstorms, and perhaps I would like to do Minecraft education was part of that. So when I saw this, I thought, well, I'll go and explore and see what it's about.
Excellent, excellent. Tanya.
I'm the STEAM teacher at Warringah Park School, and we're a special school. And so I've been using Minecraft through remote learning, and I've been putting little projects, little assignments up for students. So I'm getting a handle on how to use it, and I use it on the iPad, but I've also downloaded on my PC as well, so I can skill up on both ways.
Excellent. Thomas.
I'm 5'6" at Preston Northeast Primary School. Yeah, my first experience to Minecraft in education. So I have a lot to do with the ICT curriculum at Preston Northeast. So it's really interesting to see how that can be integrated in the 5'6", and then I suppose further down into the school.
Excellent. Anthony.
Hi, Bronwyn. Thanks for having me. I'm actually a pre-service teacher, and I'm working also at Preston Northeast Primary in the 5'6" level. So I've never used Minecraft before, and yeah, keen to get started on it.
Excellent. And Anthony's raised a big issue for us because we really want to be able to embrace pre-service teachers as part of our program and our community. So don't give up hope, Anthony. We'll find a way to include you.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Sarah and Puppy.
Hi everyone, this is Charlie and I'm Sarah. So I've ducked home early because my school was going to lock up before we finished. So I am home and I teach at Belvedere Park Primary, which is in Seaford. I've been in 3-4 for about 7 years, but I'm moving to grade 2 next year. My kids love Minecraft, but I need to learn how to do stuff because every time they let me in their worlds, when I'm trying to look at the stuff they've built, I keep punching it and destroying it and they get very upset. So I need to learn how to not destroy things and how to maybe create things or at least stop ruining their fun. So I'm really excited about kind of channeling my teaching into a new kind of avenue rather than just letting them kill each other on Minecraft and treating it like a babysitter.
Okay, excellent, great. Good that you're not just using it as a babysitter, because there's so much more to do, as we're going to hopefully show you. Kylie.
Hello everybody, thanks for having me as well. I'm excited to join today. I am the technology coordinator out here at Apollo Parkways Primary School. We're in Greensborough. I've been the tech coordinator here for about 5 years, and since coming into that role really tried to push the technologies curriculum prep to 6 throughout the school. We're so lucky that we've got a really mixed staff of super enthusiastic people that are willing to get into the coding curriculum I'm really trying to write and create throughout the school. And I've got some really inspiring teachers who grabbed a hold of Minecraft in remote learning, and we worked online together and we ran a STEM unit online together, and we had a focus of the Marble Olympics. So the students were using STEM concepts to build their own Marble Olympics at home. And then Tim put his hand up and said, let's Minecraft this bad boy. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. So today I am like wanting to sink my teeth into Minecraft, finally get to know what it's all about, because I'm missing out on all the fun and I would like to have our staff more on board. So can't wait to do today. So thank you.
I'm going to use that quote, let's Minecraft this bad boy. Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, I know. It's the end of the day. I'm trying to bring it.
So, Shay, is it Shay or Shy?
Shay.
Shay.
So I'm here with Brad, one of our ES staff as well, who's training to be a teacher at the moment. I'm the learning specialist at Yallourn North Primary School in Gippsland, and Brad's in the grade 2 class. I said grade 6, didn't I? I can't remember. Basically, we're just looking for engagement tools. We do a lot of, got a lot of children who've experienced trauma and a lot of tier 2 and tier 3 behaviours at our school, and engagement can be a massive issue. We do a lot of explicit teaching through literacy and numeracy. So I was trying to think of an avenue to go that would engage kids for the more project-based learning. And I remembered some work I did with Joel Parsons at Eastwood Primary School in Ringwood back when Minecraft EDU was really complicated and had an internal server, and sort of relied on him for all of that. So it was nice to hear that it's sort of a bit more easy to use now, but I've forgotten everything. Like, I remember the good stuff that we did, but I don't remember how it happened or what I was doing at the time.
Well, it's a great time to start because it is so much more user-friendly and so much more curriculum-oriented rather than technology-oriented, which I hope I'll show today. So, Carolyn.
Hi, I'm a 5-6 teacher at Preston North East Primary, along with Tom as well. And I think for me personally, I have no experience with Minecraft, but I know a lot of my students, like, they use it in play. So it'll be really interesting to see how we can incorporate that into the curriculum as well.
Excellent. Christopher.
I'm assuming that's me, unless there's another Chris. I'm from a leading teacher from Preston North East Primary School. I'm also the ICT coordinator. And what I'm really looking for out of this is engagement tools for kids who are disengaged from normal learning but do like the game-based aspect of learning, and essentially just making learning fun. So really looking for creative ways to get across the technology in a fun and engaging way, not only for students, but also something that teachers can jump on board. So, yeah.
Great. Well, we have a number of teachers who joined this project to try and capture those disengaged students, to meet them somewhere and bring back a love of learning. And also you mentioned the fun and creativity for teachers, and we've had a number of teachers really find some excellent work there. I wasn't laughing when you spoke at you because Sarah's cat's been typing on the keyboard and is entertaining us in the vision. So,
I'm sure it looks like the GIF.
Anne.
Hi, I'm Annie. I'm from Preston North East as well. I'm the learning specialist there. And so there's myself, Carolyn, Tom, Chris, and Anthony is actually pre-service teacher there at the moment. So there's a lot of us on this meeting at the moment. I guess having watched my own two kids grow up with Minecraft and just the sheer creativity, that seemed to be involved with it. I've always been interested in how you could use it in education, and I've just meant to get involved for so many years. And thanks to, is it Lauren Arkley, who told me about this project and suggested we get on board. I think this is a really good time to do it.
Fabulous, and great to have a team across the board here from your school. Lauren, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, and no worries. I'm so happy that you came along into our team. I'm Lauren Arkley. I work at the Department of Education, but my main focus is on Minecraft and developing it's used in schools and supporting teachers and using it effectively in the classroom. So yeah, it's really exciting to be here, and it's great to hear about so many different schools, and we just love Minecraft. I'm speaking on behalf of Braun, but it's got so much potential. So I think it'll be a great session, and it's good to get our hands dirty and get stuck in.
Yeah, and I'm Bron Stuckey. I'm a consultant to this project. I do a lot of work with games and virtual worlds and consulting to this project with Lauren, working with Lauren as a partner on getting Minecraft into the curriculum in Victorian schools. I'm just going to jump into a bit of the presentation to start with. So if you would like to mute, but please, I can talk underwater and I'm very interruptible. So I'm quite happy with the number that we've got. If you want to speak or ask a question along the way, please do so. But if we just have mics, then cat meows or dog barks don't bother us so much. So let me get going. Okay, are you seeing my PowerPoint presentation? Yes, excellent. All right, so I've actually created this as a PDF as well. So because there's a lot of links in this that you may want to follow up on. So you can download that PDF there at bit.ly Minecraft Beginner 1 and access all of the slides and the links that are in the slide set today. And you'll see our hashtag for this project, for our Minecraft in Victoria cluster project, is EduVic Minecraft. So if you want to tweet out or ask a question or follow up on anything, that's the best tag to use. So there is a fabulous document that was written specifically for Victorian schools that covers K-12. Well, really it's 2 to 10. In map to the Victorian curriculum, and you can download that on Fuse. So a number of you mentioned that you're really looking for that curriculum relationship, and it gives examples of how you might, ideas and examples of how you might map it and how you might explain your use of Minecraft to parents. And then there's a whole swag of other really great resources that I want to point out. But we're not going to spend all of today in me talking because this is designed to be a hands-on fun session. But I do want to point out these things that you'll find very useful. So there is our community. Lauren and I manage the Minecraft cluster community, innovation community, and some of you are already members of that community. And if you're not, you might consider joining it. And anyone watching after tonight might actually be interested as well. And that's a really supportive community of teachers sharing ideas around innovative practice using Minecraft. We have a lot of support from very experienced teachers through to very beginner teachers. And, we're very active and lots of cool information's been shared there. Very practical because it's teachers helping teachers. There's a blog post that Lauren and I wrote, which has been published on the global Minecraft site, so published out of Seattle at minecraft.net, which is talking about how Victorian teachers responded to remote learning using Minecraft. And you'll find that really interesting because not everyone who's represented in that blog post was a Minecraft aficionado before they started. And lots of them just recognise the possibilities for sociability and engagement and engaging those learners who weren't happy with schooling. And so you'll find some really great stuff there. And that's followed up in more detail by a sway that we created, which goes into detail in about 15 to 16 schools on what they were doing with Minecraft. And that's a really beautiful set of a celebration. But it also has the documentation, the planning tools, the rubrics, things that people used. And what you'll also find there is other teachers that you could contact and say, hey, I see you taught this unit on Gallipoli. I'd really love to do that. How would I go about it? So it's not just a resource on what people did, but you can find the people to contact. And then on Fuse itself are a swag of great resources. So it's not to be overlooked. It's quite replete with goodies. And so do go there specifically for the Victorian curriculum. And then in terms of Australian resources, there are some resources that I helped to develop, again, on the Minecraft global site, one of which is mapping Minecraft to the national curriculum. So it's an expanded version of that Victorian resource and has about 85 different ideas and activities on how you could be using Minecraft across the curriculum. And again, between about grades years 2 to 10. And then in the Minecraft lessons area, you'll find a lot of lessons that have been developed by Australian educators and posted onto the community. And we hope out of our community, we'll publish a whole lot more as time goes on. So these are all, there's a swag of goodies here that you can access readily to follow up. Because, you know, we're all coming from very different curriculum places in different years and with different needs. But there's a lot there. And as I said, in the PDF that I linked at the beginning, you can get all of these. Okay, and also as you start out in your Minecraft, you should be considering, I'm not going to dwell on this for a long time, but you can be earning credit for your Minecraft progress in your learning and application of Minecraft in the curriculum. And so you can go and learn about that from the beginner section on learning to play through intermediate, applying in the classroom, and then the enrichment aspect at the top of that. And that Minecraft curriculum is in 11 modules, each of which is rated about an hour. And it depends where you are, how you want to progress through those. If you think you know a particular topic quite well, you might jump straight to the quiz in that level and take the quiz and get credit for that part of it. But it's something worthwhile to do. We had a session yesterday on accreditation in Minecraft. And the reason it's important is because it's part of your demonstration of your knowledge, skills and understanding of using Minecraft in the curriculum. And it's something you can take in your CV or when you apply for jobs or you move between schools or systems. These badges exist outside of that. So useful to know. All right, we're going to get into some hands-on now. So I'm hoping people have access to Minecraft, whether you've got another device or you're going to minimize this Teams and my voice to be able to jump into a hands-on experience. So I'm just going to give you a quick snapshot of where we'll be going, and then I'm going to jump into Minecraft to show you where we're going. So the very first thing we're going to do is log in, and you need to be using your DT email to access the tenancy for this program. Now, I know for Anthony that's problematic, but for the rest of you, you should all be able to get in there. And you're going to be confronted with this screen. Today, we're not going to go and organise settings. We're going to dive straight in, we're going to go to play. Then we're going to be looking at the different attributes, what's available to us already. Now, number of you said, you thought Minecraft might be more user-friendly now, and Minecraft Education Edition it really is. And I think when I show you some of these features, you're going to be excited. And then we're going to look at lessons, build challenges, and the how to play area is where we're going to focus our energies. So let's stop talking about that and let's get, I've just got to get out of sharing and share again, go back into sharing and bring up Minecraft. So I can't watch the chat, but if you can let Lauren know if you're having any issue with logging in. Can everyone see my Minecraft screen?
Not yet, Bron.
Oh. Okay, let me just double check I'm not doing something wrong there.
Yep, I can see it now.
Okay. All right, so you can either follow along as we go. As I said, the PDF will have all of these steps in it. I'd prefer you follow along because doing this live is a lot more fun. And so you're going to be confronted with this screen and the play option. Now you may want to, before that, choose your skin. Now a skin, if I go back, I just went back from where I was to this play screen. The skin is where you choose what you look like, the representation of you. And that's this coat hanger that you see at the bottom underneath my actual skin there and my name above it. And if you click on that, you'll see there are a number of options that you can play with to create you. It's a nice conversation with students about the choice of skin that they take. Do they want to choose something that looks somewhat like you, or do they want to choose something that's very not like themselves and something fantastical? I chose this one because it has red hair. And the other red hair has a beard, and I certainly didn't want to have a beard. But so you can choose your skin here and that, and you can come back and change these anytime you like. So you've got lots of options. And you also have the option to customize, and that's something we've been discussing in our community about customizing skins for yourself or for a topic that you might be working. So after you've chosen your skin, you want to jump back into play and click on play. Is everyone with me? If you want to just give a thumbs up or a yes in the chat to let us know, let Lauren know where we are. We're all good? I think so. Play. All right, so when you come into play, you're going to see these options. So what do they mean? Well, view my worlds is any world you've entered already, downloaded, saved. It's your collection of worlds. Any world you've created, it will appear in the My Worlds collection. So if I went into My Worlds, if you're starting out, you won't have anything in My Worlds. But if I went into mine, I've got a whole bunch here that I've been exploring today on some of the tutorials and others. And I can jump into any one of those at any time. If I go back, then the next thing you'll see is library. And the library is a series of worlds collected that are of value to you in the curriculum. So lessons gives you access to worlds that have been created and are associated with a lesson on the Minecraft.net lessons site. So these are pre-created worlds designed for curriculum activity to occur inside them. And so if you go in there, you'll see there are options for science, math, computer science, language arts, history and culture, and so on. Now, the topics or the disciplines are rather American, but basically you know what they're going to be. The two I am particularly interested in at the moment are these last two, which is digital citizenship and social and emotional learning. And so those collections of lessons are very valuable no matter what area or age group you're teaching. So there's some really great resource in there. These were very popular during the remote period, a period of remote learning. So you'll find lots of lessons within there. So if you wanted to go into art and design, you'll see lots of game worlds there. Pumpkin carving could be useful if you're into getting into Thanksgiving and Halloween and all of the American holidays. Build a Better Bedroom was a really nice program where kids were asked to build a bedroom where that would help you exercise during isolation, the isolation of lockdown or however. And so kids could customize a bedroom to give a kind of exercise they would like to do. So if you're a footy fan, you might have designed something quite different to somebody who's a skateboarder. So they could design a bedroom that gave them access to exercise. So lots of cool worlds. Each of these worlds comes with a lesson. So it has the support of a teacher who wrote the lesson and explained how you might carry that lesson out. So really cool stuff there, lots to access. And most of them you won't want to use exactly as they're written. You'll want to customize them and adapt them for your classroom. Then there's monthly build challenges, and these are challenges put out by Minecraft Corporate on different things that are happening at different times. Sometimes they're very topical and sometimes they're just cool topics that people would want to be involved in. The current one is the Global Build Championship, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later because it's something you can get involved in even if you don't want to compete in the championship. But loads of good challenges here where you can throw down the challenge to your students. It gives some kind of open-ended scenario that they need to design a solution for. And these are great ways to get started, especially in term 4. If you can find something here that maps nicely to your curriculum, this is a really great place to start with some experimentation. And they're all quite varied in terms of the grade level, the year level, or the aspect of the curriculum they might encompass. Most of them are multidisciplinary. Then there's biomes and worlds. So what's a biome? Well, biomes are environmental spaces. So if you wanted to work on a project for the desert, then you might want to start building from a biome of the desert, or an ocean biome if you wanted to do a project for the sea. So lots of cool things there in terms of maps of the world that are already started for you, that already have the geography and geology created. And then there are some featured worlds which are very cool. Build with Bees is very popular at the moment as a unit. And some of these are professional ones that you used to have to pay to get access to, but Minecraft Education has made these available for lots of teachers. Was someone wanting to ask a question there? No? All right, so yeah, so this is interesting ones that you can go and explore. But where we want to focus today is how to play. And this is a very new space in the Minecraft world. And it's loads of cool tutorials that allow you to target exactly where you might be in your activity. So if we start here, and as it says, each of these worlds is designed to help you learn a different skill in using Minecraft. So if you're at the very, very beginning of your use of Minecraft, you really want to start with movement, because movement, placing and breaking blocks is what we want to start today, is probably the biggest hurdle you'll get over. Once you jump over that, because it's a kind of a mismatch, I think, it was for me when I started using the controls that you need to use. But you might be beyond that, so you might be wanting to learn how to use the camera and portfolio tool. Now, the camera and portfolio are fabulous for using Minecraft for assessment, but that's for another workshop. Okay, and any of these you can jump in and follow through, and there's a world attached to them. So we're going to start with movement, assuming that everyone is a raw beginner. We're going to start with the movement world, but it's good to see this tutorial even if you know it, so you can understand how the tutorials are designed. So you're going to click on movement, and you'll see this tutorial will teach you how to navigate, and it tells you you're going to learn to walk, jump, turn around, and sprint. So we know what we're going to learn in this world. If I already know this, then I could exit and go back and try one of the other modules. So if this is where we're starting, and it tells us here the difficulty here is beginner, and we're going to go to this link up here that says create world. So we're going to create this world now. So it's going to render the world for us from a template. So it already has the content in it for us to move around in. And it's this data that you see on screen is really just helpful hints while the world is loading. And you'll see some advice on the screen. Now, we're each on our own world, so we're in single player. We're working on a single player mode in our own world, in our own version of this tutorial. And you'll see it says this tutorial will teach you how to navigate in Minecraft.
Bron,
yeah.
Can we just pause for a moment? Sorry. A couple of our teachers have been downloading Minecraft Education Edition as you've been going through that.
Okay.
Just to recap where you have to go when you first open up the Minecraft app on an iPad or on a PC. So before going in to create that world, you went to...
Go to play. I'll go, shall I go back out? Will that be helpful? Let me just go back out. I'll go back out and do it again. It's all right. No problems.
Sorry, Bron.
No.
Thank you.
I can't see the chat, so I can't see what people are saying.
Yeah,
Thanks, Bron.
Carolyn's still downloading
Oh,
too.
good.
So I'll pop the instructions in the chat. Once you go through this, I'll put down exactly what the steps are, just so we can follow along if we're at different stages.
Yeah. Well, good. It's in the PDF too, each of these screens. So if you don't get through it today or you want a reminder, it's in the PDF, each screen of what we're doing. So once you've logged in, have we got everyone logged in?
Not everyone yet, Bron, 'cause some people are still downloading, but I'll write down the steps inside the chat. Carolyn's still downloading.
Okay. It shouldn't take all that long to download, but we're also on using resource and bandwidth in this session. So I can wait a minute and take any questions while we wait for people to get the downloaded.
Shai's asked a question in the chat. Are we joining or playing solo today?
We're playing solo today, Shai. Next week we'll be doing multiplayer. So, but this week is single player only. So we're just getting everyone started in the sort of low stress area of single player. But next week we will have the opportunity to jump into a world together to play. Next week's topic, while we're waiting, is on classroom management. So part of that is you usually don't have to manage so much unless you're into a multiplayer space. So we will be looking at multiplayer and use of classroom mode, which is a phenomenal tool for managing your students together in the world. I mean, I could play, while we're waiting, you could listen to our wonderful teachers. Now, this was supposed to be a video of our teachers, beginning teachers sharing their experience, but I'll just give you 5 minutes to listen to them, and we can, I hope that's going to play. All right, well, welcome everyone. Can you hear that? With Danielle Canavan and Polly Burke from Single South Primary School, and they're going to tell us a little bit about their school and their journey with Minecraft.
Okay, I'm Danielle and this is Chloe, and we're both in the grade 3-4 area at Sindel South. We've got maybe, how many kids? 60 odd kids in the year level, and we knew that some of them had used Minecraft before, but it was something that was brought up at the end of last year as something that we could maybe explore a little bit further.
Yeah, I think we had a mix coming into it, mixed ability among the students and the teachers too. So it's been interesting.
Okay. And so what were your first concerns about getting started with Minecraft in the classroom?
Personally, my biggest concern was that I'd had no experience with Minecraft whatsoever. I knew what it was, but I've never used it myself, never seen it in a classroom, in fact, never seen it in a school. So my concern was that I didn't have the skills to then, embed it within the classroom. Is my biggest one anyway.
Yeah, and I think just being able to sort of manage, the implementation of it and how that was going to look. What do we have to get in place first? What sort of technology do we have to have for it to be able to be successful?
Okay. I think those are probably pretty well concerns that are shared by lots of teachers. Did your lack of experience bother you getting started?
I suppose I was a little bit daunted by it, but I think just the enthusiasm of the kids by just you say the word Minecraft, and I think that was sort of enough motivation to get us going and think, well, how can we make this work? And I was sort of, I guess, because I didn't really have any experience with it either. I thought, I don't know how this is going to work, but I think definitely willing to give it a go.
And actually learning from the kids too was a good way to sort of start. We had the basics when we implemented it, but actually listening and talking to the kids and watching what they do has helped me a lot. So I was honest with the kids and said I'm very basic with Minecraft, and they were sort of the experts and have been awesome at helping. So yeah, it's good. It was good to leave them, hand them the reins with this one a little bit.
Fabulous. Okay, so that was listening to our fabulous young teachers at Sindel South. And good point they make there. Be prepared to learn with your kids. Let them teach you. Have fun with it. As Chris was saying, be prepared to have some fun yourself. All right, we're ready to get going again. Okay, so you're coming to this screen and you want to go to play, which will generate this window with View My Worlds, View Library, Create New, Join World, and Import. And the area we're interested in today, View My Worlds, is remember where any worlds you've opened or imported or downloaded will appear here. So this is your collection of worlds. The library is the global collection of worlds that you can access, worlds and lessons. And in a little bit, we're going to go to create new. So let's focus on the library first up. So view library. And remember, we had lessons that we could go to. These are generated by educators who work for Minecraft, and teachers all over the world have generated the worlds and lessons built here. There are monthly build challenges, and you don't have to do them in the month they were generated. You could choose one and do it any time. Biomes, which are environmental climates, the sea, the ocean, the desert, the savanna, and so on. And then we're going to focus on how to play, because these are the tutorials that you can step through in, you know, with a glass of wine on Friday night, or coffee before school in the morning. So, and take at your own pace to step you through how to use Minecraft. And we're going to start here and looking at the movement tutorial, which is the very, very first one. And I know some of you may be beyond this. If this is not where you need to start, you might want to jump on and have a look at a different one. So if you do know how to move, you can go somewhere else, but we're going to start with movement. So when you click on movement, it's going to bring up this window, which will tell you what you're going to learn in this particular unit. And with it is an associated world. And where it says create world, that's going to bring it into your My Worlds. So when you click on that, this world is going to become yours in your My Worlds collection. So you click on create world, and they use the screen real estate to give you some messages. So those are little hints and tips that come up on your screen as the world is loading. And you should land at a point that looks like this, where you're standing in front of a sign and a hint in the middle of the screen. Point your cursor at the golden blocks. Now, what that means, and if you're watching on my screen, the cursor is the crosshatch. I'm just moving it up into the sky so that you can see the actual cursor itself, because in some backgrounds it gets a little bit lost. And I'm just using on, you can just be using your mouse or I'm using a touchpad to look up and down and around in the sky. So this is just looking. We're not actually moving anywhere. We're just looking into the space. And it says in that instruction, we need to point our cursor over the golden blocks. We don't have to click on them. We just need to point the cursor over them, and they will change and they'll turn into iron. And when we've finished turning them all into iron, these gates will open for us and we'll be able to move into the next part of the tutorial. So you want to pass your mouse over and you'll see the golden block change to iron. And oh, there's another golden block over here on the right. And now one has turned golden down the bottom. And then one over on the left. And then there's a hint. Turn around for the one behind you. And sneakily, they've pasted one of these behind me. And so now that I've collected all of those, you'll see these gates in front of me have now opened. How are we going? Has everyone been able to put their cursor over the golden blocks? You can use your voice, use voice if you want. I'm cool with that. I can't see the chat while I'm presenting, so.
Yes, all good.
All good?
Yep, all good.
Okay, and so now you've got the hint W to walk forward. So you're using your W key to walk forward in this space. And then the hint comes up because we're going to hit a barrier if we keep going straight forward, that we need to use our A and our D keys to go left and right. So if you turn A, to practice using it before you get to the wall, and D moves you left and right, but still facing forward. And so you want to navigate around this wall. You're going to have to use your A and D keys to get you into the space. So you want to turn around. You can use your mouse or your touchpad or your screen touch to change your view. So to look up, down, or look round the corner. But your whole movement is the WASD keys. So W will move you forward, and then you can use your mouse to turn your body, you're turning your view, and then W to move forward. Now, I'm doing this quite slowly because I don't know about other people, but I've seen kids present moving around in Minecraft, and they've made me very nauseous. And so, you know, some people, when they first come into virtual worlds, but adults, not kids, find that moving around in the world can make you feel a little nauseous if you do it too fast. So you want to navigate through this kind of chicane they've created using your WASD to get through. And you'll see some arrows when you get to the next point in the game. How are we going?
I think good so far. Kylie's added into the chat that she feels like Mario. She's having lots of fun.
Right, once you get used to using the WASD with your mouse or your touchpad or your touch screen in combination, you'll find it's really left and right hand working together. It's not that difficult to do. But it just takes a little while to get used to it. So it tells me when I get to this point that I want to continue forward to the fountain. I don't want to race ahead if people are still catching up or navigating that maze that we had to get through. So you'll find you want to go left or right to go round to the fountain, following the arrows on the wall. Use your mouse to turn around corners. I can let you in on a secret. I haven't used a mouse for about 5 years. I only use the touchpad on my Mac, so I'm not mouse proficient anymore. So you're following through the maze. Now you're going to reach a point where you can't walk forward. Oh, it's going to suggest you can't do something. But the reason is because you need to jump. You are one block down from this being able to jump up onto this wall. So if you hold down the W to move forward and hit the space bar, it will allow you to jump and be able to jump up onto that platform. So it's the W and the space bar lets you jump up.
Bron, Kylie's added into the chat. Do you get a bird's eye view option at any time?
You can when you fly. I don't know if it lets us fly in this world. I think it might not be available. But because this is the very basic. But when you fly in another world, and I'll show you when we get to the next thing we're going to do, how to do that. So this is just showing you the basic tutorials. Yeah, bird's eye view, you fly up and you're like a drone. You can fly over what you're building or working on. And when you watch kids building, they'll build like a castle or something. Sometimes they fly up over it, have a look at what they're working on, drop back down into some part of it. It's very useful to be able to fly. The reason it isn't included early for teachers, because most teachers get so excited they fly off very far away, and then we have to try and rein them back in to the space.
Yes, I did that this afternoon. It's Sarah here. I was just saying in the chat, I figured out how to fly, and one of my kids showed me, and then I just kept flying off and digging all the way down. And I was like, oh, Miss Ferris, just get out of there. You don't know what you're doing. But it's fun.
All right. I don't want to spend too much time in this because you can do these tutorials in your own time. As I said, they're bite-sized things, so you can sit and have a play working your way through them in your own time. So I might just jump us out of here for the moment. And to get out of where you are, all you need to do is to use the escape key. And it should bring up this window. And I'm just going to save where I'm at because this will remember where I got to in the maze. And when I enter next time, I'll be at this point. I don't have to start from the very beginning. So I'm doing save and exit. That will now add that into my worlds. So if I go into my worlds, I would see that movement tutorial is there that I've been using. So save and exit brings it into my worlds. And you can have lots of versions of a world, how you started, when you did it later, and so on. But today we're going to now look at creating a new world. So I need everyone to be back at this screen. So if you want to take your voice and just tell me you're all good back at this screen.
That was really fun to play with.
Yeah, the tutorials are well designed. And they're great if you've got a child who hasn't ever experienced Minecraft at all. They're a good place to get them going. Believe me, within 15 minutes in a room, if you've got a child who's never used Minecraft and the other kids help, you won't be able to tell who was new in 15 minutes time. They really love helping each other and you know, upskilling each other. So if we're back at the screen that says My Worlds and View Library, we're going to go create new because this is something you'll want to be able to do pretty early in what you're doing. So we're going to go create and click on create new, and it's going to say, are you building a brand new world or are you bringing in a template? Well, we're going to do a brand new world, but you could have got a template from someone else that you want to use. So we're going to do new. And then we're going to see this screen, which asks us about the settings we want to be able to build for our world. So there are, if you look at the screen, I'm hoping everyone's with me, you'll see create new world at the top and games settings. Now, the very first thing you're going to do is name your world. And I want you to call it this, My Portal. And I'm going to tell you why in a sec. So you want to call your world My Portal. And if we look down, we have some options here. Survival, and if you click on the inverted triangle, you'll see it says survival or creative. Now we want to make this world creative. Now, in creative, you have all the resources you need to build. You're given everything. You don't have to go hunt or mine or fetch resources. You're given all the resources and you're not at risk. You cannot die while you're in creative mode. So the monsters, the mobs, as they're called in Minecraft, can't attack you in a creative mode world. Of course, if I asked you which world you thought the kids would like best, I'll bet you all know it isn't going to be creative. To play, they like the sense of danger that comes with mobs in the world, but it's not violent in terms of graphic or anything else. It's really quite fun. But in the terms of what we're going to do for My Portal is creative. And then you have the options of peaceful, easy, normal, and hard. Peaceful just means that things don't interact with you. So we're going to choose peaceful so that none of the monsters that are in the world will annoy us. Member isn't needed. That's if you wanted students to join your world. Infinite or flat or old. Now we're going to start with flat. So we're flat and we're creative. Seed is if you had a seed for a world that you'd got from someone else. And I'm not going to worry about too much of the other. I do like to have show coordinates turned on in worlds. And immediate respawn is if you died, you would immediately respawn in the world. And there are a lot of other things you can have on. And we do want activate cheats. Now you'll see code builder there as an option. That's if you wanted to use the world for coding, but that's another webinar down the track a little bit. And if you don't want to be interfered with by it turning nighttime, you can check always day for your building in your world. Okay, so we've gone through those. There are other packs and add-ons that we can add into our world. So if I was looking at, I could add in different packs or different resource packs into what I'm doing, but I don't have any loaded at the moment. So we don't need to have those. So then we're ready to play the game. So we know we're going to create a world that's peaceful. There's no mortality. We're going to have all the resources with us and it's going to be flat. And then we're going to say play. So it's going to create a world called My Portal and it's going to generate what we asked it to do, which is a flat world. And you'll see there are creatures in the world, but they're not going to interfere with us, animals, but the world itself is totally flat. And if you press the E on your keyboard, the letter E, you should see the inventory come up for Minecraft. Now, this is all the resources you can have to build. And you'll see there are tabs across the top for different elements, building, weaponry, spells, potions, and other things, and so on. Books, things to write with, etc. So lots of goodies there in your inventory. And how do you use that? Well, if I go back to close it down again and do E, you'll see at the bottom of your screen, and to come out of it, you just do E again. You'll see at the bottom of the screen is what we call the hot bar. Those are the things you have available to you to build with. So at the moment, I've got nothing. I need to put some things in my hot bar. So if I go to E and collect some things and drag them down into my hot bar, so maybe I want some prismarine. I don't even know what prismarine is, but it looks pretty. I'm going to drag it and pop it in my hot bar. So you're dragging it from your inventory into your hot bar. And maybe some sandstone would be useful. So I'll grab some of that and put it in. Some blocks of gold. Gold could be fun. And choose some things that you'll be able to use. The plus means there's more underneath that. So planks has whole lots of other things underneath it. Jungle wood planks, I might drop some of them in. So click on them and then drag them in. And you'll see it's giving you 64 of whatever it is that you've decided to put in your world. And maybe I want some trees. Maybe I want some greenery, leaves, saplings, some saplings that might grow in my world. And drop those in as well. So you can fill up your hot bar with goodies. Maybe I want a cobweb or two, I don't know yet. And I'll be able to swap these in and out as soon as I filled up my hot bar and I know what I'm doing. And then just E again to close the inventory. Now you'll see that highlighted is the number 1 space on the hotbar, and you'll see in the corner of my screen is the blue of that prismarine that I put into the block space. If I was to use the press the number 2, it will move to the second thing in my hotbar, and 3 and 4 and 5 and so on. So you'll see what's in my hand, or what I have able to use, corresponds to the number of the slot in the hotbar. So if I want to lay down a whole lot of spider's webs, I'm going to be hitting the number 6 key on the keyboard. Is everyone with me? Cool. Okay, so how do we place blocks? Well, the first thing we want to do, let's do the diabolical thing, and let's break some blocks. So if you move your cursor around on the screen, you can see mine, you'll see it highlights a square or a block on the screen. And that's this block I would be operating on. Now, if I want to break that block, I'm going to left mouse click and hold it till it breaks that block down. Oop, now, because I'm on the Mac, it does this to me. Okay, so you'll see if I put it on and break it, left mouse break, and it's operating on whatever is highlighted. So you need to keep an eye on where your cursor is. So wherever your cursor is, that's what you're operating on. So I've created a nice big hole. Don't walk and fall into your hole, which is the very first thing most teachers do. Yep. I'm going to move back from my hole so the temptation of falling into it won't happen. And I could now fill that hole with prismarine. How do I do that? Well, I go to one of the blocks and I'm going to right mouse click now, and you'll see I'm now placing blocks, not breaking blocks, but placing blocks. And as long as I see where my cursor is, I can place the block in that space. Now, by the way, since we're in a creative world that we created for ourselves, we can now fly. So if I wanted to get up above what I'm doing, I can just double tap the space bar and go up, and you'll see you're above your build. Don't go off, just go up for a minute, and you'll see you can fly up to see where you are in your space. If you tap the space bar again, double tap, it will bring you down back to your build. So how are we going? Did we place and break? Break and place. Left is to break, right is to place. Double tap the space bar and hold it to fly up. Double tap it again to come down. All right, now this world is called Portals for a very good reason, and I'll leave you to play while I go back into my presentation because I want to show you what you're going to do. So, are you seeing my presentation screens now?
Not yet.
Okay, so I think I need to take it out of share and share again.
Yep, I can see it now.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, so we've done all of that. We've had a little listen to Chloe and Danielle. Now you're going to build a portal, a time portal. Now, it doesn't have to actually work to transport you to somewhere, but you want to create something enticing, an entrance way that would entice you to want to go through it to go somewhere. And it might be used later to create a real portal where you could travel to something else. Now, before we go on, I'll show you a few that were done in our, shared by teachers in our community, in our trainings earlier on in the year. So I'll give you an idea of the diversity of the portals that we've built. So let me get to them. We've done all of this. Okay, portals galore. So these are all portals built by teachers in our community. And they don't have to be fancy. It's just your first experience of trying to place blocks in a space. And portals is a fun activity because it can be whatever you want to make it. You know, if you're a Stargate Atlantis fan, then it might have one meaning for you. And if you've played other games, it might have a different meaning. Or it may, if you're a castle freak, maybe it's castle-like the one on the right in this screen. And then we see this one. This is nice. I finally got there, a teacher building a portal, said, first go, but I destroyed and rebuilt it. And that's a very common thing in Minecraft. You can do that. You can build it and go, nah, I hate that. Let's do it again. And it's not that hard to do. And it's not tragic if you want to try and rebuild something. This is a kind of intriguing portal. It has switches and redstone employed and some fire going on at the back of it. And you'll have to come into the community if you want to find out what that portal leads to. This is a lovely one. I like this. This is bright. I think I'd want to step up into that portal to go somewhere. And then Portal Island. So this is maybe someone got carried away with watching Love Island and thought this could be a really good portal to get there, but an oceanic portal that you might have to swim out to get into.
I'm sorry to interrupt. What is in the middle, the purple? Is that just a material from the inventory?
Yes.
Cool.
And this is you could code a portal. Now, when we come up to a webinar on coding, you can get the agent who operates to demonstrate code in the world, to act code in the world. This was the code that was built to build this amazing long portal as a coded space. So this is a very extensible task. It can be as big or as small as you want, and it's just a place to get started. And it's a cool thing to do. So lots of resources. Number of our teachers found that they started their portal and then said to their students, listen, I've got this homework, because like for you, it's homework. They said, oh, I've got this homework. I've got to build a portal. And the kids will immediately go, well, is it going to activate? Where's it going to go? And the kids will invest in wanting to help you. Don't shy away from that. Some teachers said, no, I really wanted to prove to myself I could build it on my own and then show the students so they'd be really proud of me. Or you can invest in getting your students to help. But we're asking you to create that entranceway. It doesn't have to operate, or it can if you want to. But create something that looks like something you would want to go through. And how can you share those portal designs? So that's placing blocks. Placing blocks could be trees, as you saw, could be flowers, could be entranceways, could be lots of different things. And if you joined our community and you're part of it, you'll find there's a discussion. It's actually in the hidden channels called Homework 1, Design a Gateway to the Past. It doesn't have to be to the past, it could be to anywhere. But you'll see shared in that space is a whole lot of portal design. So if you want to go get inspiration, you can and go and look at those. But we'd love you to share your portal in that space and get lots of feedback from other teachers. And it was lovely, kind feedback. So because this was new for everyone, it was a great task. By the way, this is a great starting task to give your kids. Once you've designed the portal, then throw it out to your kids and say, I want you to design me a portal that looks really enticing to take me to another time, another place, another world, and see where they go with it. But I'll talk a little bit more on that. I know we're running over time, but I really want to make sure we can get through everything. So you could tweet out your portal design. So if you create a portal, and I used one to create a tweet today on the EduVic Minecraft, hashtag myportal. So if you create a portal or your students create something fantastic that you really want to share with us, we would love you to tweet that out on our tweet, on our account. with the hashtag EduVicMinecraft, hashtag MyPortal. These come from a resource called 30-minute challenges. Now, the way you can use these in getting started with Minecraft is to take one of these challenges and get your kids to do it. So, you know, from story garden, design and build a garden to delight your favorite story character. So a garden that your favorite character from a novel would love to be in. Or design a water slide for both kids and adults might enjoy. After COVID, that's probably something lovely to do. Or mega maze, design a maze to make getting lost amazing fun. Now, these are deliberately 30 minutes. So you throw the challenge out to your students. You spend 30 minutes from woe to go on whatever they think the challenge is, and you can get them to work in pairs together at one computer or on their own individually, but it's meant to be a single player mode activity. And then at the end of the 30 minutes, you say to the kids, okay, let's have a look at what you did. Everyone has a look at each other's screens and talks about what they did. And then you ask the kids, if we had Minecraft last term, what could we have done? And they start telling you how you could have applied Minecraft in the curriculum. And you'll get back some amazing ideas from your students. And that's a 30-minute thing to do. All they have to have prepared is the capacity to log in and be able to start a world. So that's a really cool thing to do, one of the 30-minute challenges. If I had more time, you'd hear on the rest of Chloe and Danielle's piece, the first thing they did with their students was the portal. So they went back to school and used that portal concept with their students and looked at what the kids did. Because they built it themselves first, they had a sense of what the basics were, and then they could admire the wonderful things the kids did. And then there's the Global Build Challenge. Now, I mentioned this earlier, and it's in the worlds, in challenges. And this is a build challenge to design an environment where animals and humans could live in harmony. And because of what's happened with COVID, for instance, in Venice, dolphins have come back into the canals. You know, like lots of things are happening because people aren't about, animals are returning. We really want to keep that, but how can we do that in a way where we can still carry out our human activity and still have animals safe and healthy? And what can kids design to meet that? Now, if you want to dive in at the deep end, you could throw this challenge at your students and see where they take it. See what ideas they can generate for a space that animals and humans could live together. Now, the competition closes at the end of the month, but you don't have to join the competition. You can just use the challenge with your students. So joining isn't absolutely essential, although it will be cool, and I'm a judge on the system. So I'll be judging some of the Asia Pacific entries, I think. So submissions are due by November 6th. But you might get really excited. Students might get really excited at this and be inspired. So I think it's a great one to throw down. So those are the options. Think about the portal or one of the other 30-minute challenges, or dive in at the deep end and go for this Global Build Challenge. And the kids will be excited knowing that children all over the world at the same time are designing this. And it's the very first time it's ever been run, so it's really, really quite awesome. Okay, in summary, where to from here? Well, you can complete your portal and share it out. And I hope some of you have been building in the background while you've been listening to me. And you can do that in the Minecraft cluster community, or you can tweet it out if you're not ready to come and join us in the community. And I know some of you already are members, and people watching this after today may actually want to go and follow through and join the community. You can try a 30-minute challenge with your students. You can jump into the Global Build Challenge, and you can jump into next week's webinar. Now, here's the thing. This webinar was open to any teacher in DET Vic But next week's webinar is community-based, so it's moving into the next levels of, and the rest of our webinars will be community-based. We will have maybe one or two other public ones later in the year. So if you want to come in and do part 2, you really want to be part of the community, because a lot of the support you'll want in moving into taking this into your classroom comes from the teachers in that community. But next week we'll be looking at classroom mode. So how do you control the students in a multiplayer context? In the meantime, you've got all those tutorials in the tutorial spaces that you could do. So that's self-directed learning that you can pick up and do anytime. So that's the next meeting is October 28th, Minecraft for Beginners Session 2, Classroom Management. So I know we've gone over time, and I'll just jump out of sharing. Any questions? I couldn't watch the chat, I'm sorry.
That's okay, you didn't miss anything apart from a couple of people had to drop off because schools were closing or they had other commitments. But yeah, I've answered all the questions. I've also put a link in the chat to the forum to express interest in joining the community if you're not already a member of it. It's a really quick form and we require 2 teachers per school to join. Yeah.
And I'll just put a link to the document where all of this was with all the links, because yeah, the PDF can be downloaded here, and you'll be able to access everything that I've had shown in the session. So I know it's a tiny taster that got you started, but I hope everybody had a chance to do some hands-on and you're inspired now to follow some other tutorials along in the space. But there really is great self-directed learning in there now. I think it was Carolyn, was it, said earlier, you know, that they thought Minecraft was more, the teacher side of Minecraft was more user-friendly, and it absolutely is. So lots of cool things. I've done some of those tutorials because I needed to remind myself on some of the actions, and they're really quite fun. But I'm excited to see if you can get a portal going, or you might challenge a teacher at your school, show them how to do this and get them to design a portal, or share on Twitter some of your kids' portals if they design one. Thanks, Anthony. Glad you could be with us, and we hope we can get you in using Minecraft Education Edition. When do you graduate?
At the end of this year. So this is my last placement, only 2 weeks to go. So yeah, super excited and keen to start utilizing Minecraft a bit more.
Yeah, I'd love to, if we can find a way to get pre-service teachers into our community so that we've infected you by the time you go to teach in a school.
Yeah, true. Well, I actually managed to log into the game itself using my my University of Melbourne email. So maybe that's an option if unis are connected to it somehow, which I assume mine is. But yeah, I won't be able to join the community, but that's okay.
So, oh, thank you, Kylie. That's great. Yeah, I suppose the message from Danielle and Chloe is just get in and have a go. You know, I've been working with some educators doing research on Minecraft and how much teachers need to know to teach Minecraft. And it's far less than you think you do. You just have to know a little bit so that you can throw a challenge out to your students and be in awe of where they take it. And then be prepared to say, oh, how did you do that? And let them teach you. Because you'll never be as good at Minecraft as they are. But you're the curriculum expert. You're the pedagogical expert. You're the learning expert. You can let them have that little piece of the pie, being the Minecraft expert. All right, let us know. I'll put my Twitter handle in the chat. If you need to follow up with me on anything, I'm really happy to help. And my email,
Ron, Sarah's asked a question about the link for next week. Are we just going to post it into the community space for next week for the webinar?
Yes.
Yep.
And if you're in the community, you will get the Monday update email, which will have the link in as well. So it'll come one of two ways. So, but we always post it into the general space in the community. So, or we email it.
Yeah, that's how I got this one today, was on one of the Monday emails. So that was really good. Awesome. Thank you so much. My kids will be thrilled that I know how to not destroy things, because I always want to click the wrong button. So thank you very much. I'll get them building some portals tomorrow.
Excellent. Lovely.
Thanks.
I look forward to seeing them.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. All right. Any other questions, comments? Anyone need any help? Anyone feel they got lost? No? Cool. Well, it was nice to have you all here and have such engaged teachers joining in the session. Hey, Dorothy, we didn't get to say hello to you. Yes, it is a little trickier using the iPad. I find even, you know, like if I'm using a Surface, I'm not Surface literate. But touchpad, I'm a whiz, you know. But yeah, I think you have to just keep playing at it with whatever device you're going to be using. Dorothy, did you want to introduce yourself? You can turn your microphone on. We'd love to say hello if you're able to. Oh, unfortunately, you're in another. That's okay, it's recorded, Dorothy, so you'll be able to see, we'll post the recording, so you'll get access to it. Everyone who registered today will get access to the recording. We understand lots of clashes this time of year. But great that you popped in and joined us anyway. Thank you. All right, see you next week, Tanya.
Bye, Tanya.
Bye.
Okay, I'll stop the recording.